Hey guys, welcome back to Biz Takeouts TV. We are still at the DStv Seminar of Creativity at the Loeries Creative Week. With us, we've got Chris Clarke, who is the Chief Creative Officer for DigitasLBi. Chris, welcome to Biz Takeouts.
Thank you.
Cool. You had your talk this morning at the seminar.
Yep.
Give us a quick snapshot of what your topic was.
Yeah, well, it's Creativity in the Age of the Machines was the title. What I was talking about really is the way in which digital technology has kind of fractured people's attention spans to an extent. We tend to think of it in a very simple way, that it's a sort of purely empowering medium. But in actual fact, many of us are enslaved by technology, and in fact lots of thought has gone into the creation of platforms to make us do things in a certain way. You know, the digital, the ad-funded model for free content, for example, tends to incentivize magazines and newspapers to print inaccuracies in it online. So there's a lot of there's a darker side to digital technology, and my argument is that with that fractured attention span, what brands should be doing is not following that and fracturing and atomizing themselves. They should galvanize attention around something that's purposeful and meaningful, something that the brand stands for.
100%. In terms of creativity, the standard in South Africa compared to international standards, how do you feel South Africa's rating?
Well, I would say South Africa has got some very strong creative minds. I mean, there were some brilliant people on my jury, all of whom had done brilliant work and had to leave the room regularly while we were discussing it. There is work of a sort of international kind of Candy and AD standard being done in this market. And then there's the rest of it, So there's a kind of there's a crema of really good stuff here, which is interesting.
Awesome. So you were talking about digital or creative on digital platforms.
Yeah.
In terms of big data and actually data in general, as a creative, do you look at data and kind of mold the creative around what the data is saying, or do you just completely ignore data?
Well, I mean, I kind of I believe the maxim data is just people in disguise, and I think if you've got strong data analysts in your organisation, strong planners, they can turn that data into insight. Creatives are always looking for some truth to hang things on. I think historically research groups produced nonsense. People don't know what they're going to do. They can't remember what they did do, and quite often they'll tell you what they think you want them to say. And actually, social platforms can be just as misleading that way. What's interesting about sort of digital data and big data, I suppose, is that in some cases you can see real behaviour, what people really watched, what people are really interested in. But we should use those things as a guide to where to look rather than an answer in itself.
I understand that. And then in terms of the whole judging process, I know you guys had the iPod judging this year. Do you want to talk us through that quickly? How was the whole judging process?
Well, I mean, I've used those before at other shows. I think it's good. We were asked not to, when I mentioned debate earlier, that was in the craft category where we were allowed to sort of talk a bit about the work. We were asked not to debate the work too much because people tend to try and influence things a little bit. I found the sort of numerical precision of that quite easy when it came to then looking at the shortlist. It was pretty straightforward to see where things had fallen. So it was good, and I would say it made it a fair process.
Cool. And then in terms of the actual Loeries Creative Week, have there been any highlights for you so far? I know you went on a game drive.
Loeries very kindly. I had a bit of a day off yesterday, which was great. It's lovely to be here, and I've met some people genuinely on the jury. I was one person on there who I know from another show, but I hadn't met any of those people before. And after this week, I consider many of them good friends. So I'm looking forward to coming back.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at the Loeries Awards.
Great. Cheers.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.